Hello and welcome to English 102. My name's Jeannie Anderson and I'll be your instructor for the course. This semester we're primarily focusing on the research writing process, paying careful attention to research techniques, library basics, source gathering and evaluating, and the overall writing process. This class will involve a series of steps designed to help you choose a topic, establish an argument, summarize source material, and synthesize the voices of others with your own. Each assignment is designed to get you a step closer to the major project of the semester, the argumentative research essay. By the end of the semester, you'll have the tools you need to complete the research process in future classes, your field of expertise, and in your personal life. Let's take a look at that 8-step process. The screen is taking you to what's called a Prezi, which is a graphic organizer that gives you an overview of the major assignments that will build up on your final research paper. A Prezi is a cloud-based presentation and storytelling tool used for presenting ideas on a virtual canvas by employing a zooming user interface. As you can see from the overview, there are a series of 8 circles, each of which represents one of those assignments in the 8-step process. Let's take a closer look. You can navigate through the Prezi by hitting the arrow keys on the bottom, or you can click on any component throughout the presentation to see units out of order. Let's move through the steps. The first assignment you'll do to get to the end product is a research proposal. Like any research project, you will need to write a proposal and have it approved. Basically, my approval serves as your funding for this particular research project. This is an argumentative paper, so you must have a plausible argument. Remember, an argumentative paper requires that you have a point that someone could argue against and that is worth arguing about. A summary paper will be your next assignment. Summarizing a piece of writing in one's own words is an effective way to understand it. Also, writing a summary requires readers to discriminate the most important information from the less important information. Thus, in summarizing a work of writing, students digest in their own words what the author says. In this assignment, you'll write a 2-page draft that summarizes the author's key points in a scholarly article. Then we'll go through the peer review process, where you'll receive feedback both from a classmate, and if you've turned your draft in on time, you'll also receive feedback directly from me. After feedback, you'll condense your final version down to a 250-word, 1-page piece. Make sure that each sentence is written as clearly and as concisely as possible as you draft that final version. The next assignment is a rather short assignment, but it is an important assignment because it's the touchstone of where you'll move from here, the working thesis statement. Your working thesis statement frames the ideas that will control your research and helps you stay focused as you sift through information. For this particular paper, your working thesis statement should be argumentative. The claim you make must be debatable, something people might reasonably have differing opinions about. After you complete the working thesis statement, you're really going to dig into your research. The next assignment is an annotated bibliography, which is a collection of source material that will most likely be used in your argumentative research essay. In that essay, you're required to use 6 to 10 sources, with a minimum of 3 scholarly sources used. So this assignment will give you a head start in making sense of the sources you've collected thus far. The source criteria for the annotated bibliography include 6 different sources. You'll need a variety as well. You'll include 1 book source, 1 popular culture source, which is like a television show, a documentary, a blog, a film or video, a commercial, or a podcast, something like that. You'll also include 1 popular article, which is an article that's published in a magazine that you might find at Barnes & Noble or in a newspaper. You'll include a web source from whatever website you can find online that can support your topic. And then you'll find 2 scholarly articles, which are peer-reviewed sources written by scholars in the field of study. Typically, these articles will be found in the library databases. Once you've completed the annotated bibliography, you'll be ready to draft your research paper. This draft should include a minimum of the first 5 full pages of your research paper, and it should include a paragraph reflection at the end that details additional work that needs to be done to complete the final version. Once you turn that in, you'll be assigned a peer review partner, much like you did during the summary peer review process. Peer review is an important part of this process, as your partner will hopefully help you identify any questions your readers may have that need clarification. Also, provided that you turn your draft in on time, you'll also benefit from my specific instruction on how your draft is going as well. I like to try to give as detailed of feedback as I possibly can. Simultaneously that week, the week that you're working on your peer review, you'll also work on the CEA activity, which is an assignment designed to help you review your paper from a different perspective. You'll begin with a rough draft of your research essay, and you'll follow the steps below to prepare your research draft file using the CEA method of labeling sentences. The first thing you'll do is you'll read through your essay and highlight in light blue every sentence of your essay that shares an idea that you got from a resource that you used. It may be a direct quote, or it might be something that you've written in your own words, but it's information you got from a source that you've either summarized or paraphrased. Next, you'll read through your paper again and highlight in light green every sentence in your essay that shares an original idea you present to your readers that will help them know how you hope they will respond to your topic and your argument after they read your essay. Claims are your opinions, and they're usually found in the first sentence of each paragraph, where you might also call that a topic sentence, which is the sentence that basically tells you the main claim of that paragraph. Once you go through your claims, you'll finally read through your essay one last time and highlight in yellow every sentence in your essay that explains why the evidence you've shown your readers supports your topic sentences and thesis statement. In other words, why does this information support your argument? You may find that some of your green sentences will need to be changed to yellow because they stand alone as your original ideas and opinions, but when you read in context with your evidence, they also explain why the evidence is important, or how the reader should respond to that evidence. Finally, the final research paper will nearly be ready to complete. You'll take all that information that you've used throughout the steps, and you'll revise that research paper one last time. When we undertake research, we wish to explore an idea, probe an issue, solve a problem, or make an argument that compels us to turn to outside help. Then we seek out, investigate, and use materials beyond our personal resources. The argumentative research essay presents the findings and conclusions of such an inquiry. The main purpose of doing research is not to summarize the work of others, but to assimilate and build on it, and to arrive at your own understanding of the subject. So the question is, what new discovery do you plan to make this semester? All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation, where I'll talk a little bit about various aspects of the research process, starting with the purpose of writing. The primary purpose of your research paper is to persuade your audience to do, think, or feel a certain way about your argument. You want to help readers understand why your topic matters and why it is worth exploring. To do this, you'll need to establish an audience. So who is your intended audience, and who do you want to reach with your writing? What is their background? demographics, their education, life experiences, interests. What political circumstances may affect their reading of your writing? And what does your audience already know about the subject? These are all important components to know about your audience as you're addressing them through your research. And finally, your stance. Your stance is your attitude towards your topic and how that attitude affects your relationship with your audience. If you feel strongly about your topic and you're trying to persuade your readers to think the same way, you'll need to consider how your stance may be received by your audience. You want to write with authority. Your tone should convey confidence, but not cockiness. You want to use action verbs and avoid phrases like, I think, in my opinion. Be as straightforward and direct in your writing style as possible. And remember to always respect your audience's perspective. Now we're going to talk about some key features in academic writing. First, you need a clear and qualified argumentative thesis statement that acknowledges the views of others in a language that does not suggest an absolute opinion. You do want to leave room for argument in your thesis statement. You'll present your thesis in response to a larger conversation going on the topic. You'll find that conversation in the sources you gather and then add your own voice to the already established conversation. The goal of the research process is not to repeat what others say, rather the goal is to use what others say as a platform for your own unique perspective on the topic. To argue well, assert your own position. Then use what others say as a launching pad or sounding board for your own views. In essence, your argument is a response to what others have said or done, or what they have not said or done. As you navigate through this process, you'll have to provide good reasons for your claims using evidence from source material as support. As you present your evidence, you'll acknowledge the multiple perspectives informing the topic. The opposing viewpoints and CQ researcher databases are excellent resources that you can access through the college's library. As you read through your sources, question assumptions, develop strong claims, offer supporting reasons and evidence, and consider opposing arguments. All source material must be carefully documented in both in text and on the works cited page at the end of your paper. And in this class, we'll use MLA style for documentation. One distinct feature of MLA style is that in-text citations, like the one I'm highlighting here, or pointing to here, in-text citations include the last name of the source and the page number if it's a print source. There is no punctuation in in-text citations when you're citing in MLA format. Many of you may come across citations in the things that you read that include a last name with the year the source was published, as you can see right here. This is a distinct feature of APA style, which is not a writing documentation style we'll be covering in this class. Finally, in all your writing for this course, pay careful attention to correctness, using complete sentences, correct spelling and capitalization, punctuation and grammar, and a clear and concise writing style. All right, now let's take a quick look at the weekly agenda, where you'll be able to see the learning outcomes, the textbook readings, additional required materials, assignments, and the plan ahead section. Okay, here we are. At the beginning of every agenda, you'll see just a brief message from me, and your YouTube video will be inserted here. Be sure to review the learning outcomes for that week so that you have a clear understanding of what you should walk away from this lesson understanding. Next, the textbook readings will be listed. As you can see, for this first week, there are several short chapters in the Norton Field Guide for Writing, as well as a short chapter in the They Say, I Say textbook. Week 1 is pretty heavy with additional